Hey mates, good afternoon. How are we all doing today? It is Tuesday, May 11th, 2021. I'm over at the Glen Helen Nature Preserve, close to Yellow Springs, and we're right next to the Little Miami River, once again. Gorgeous day, too. But you can see that the river's still a bit high, but you can also tell that it is kind of starting to mellow out, just a tad. It's usually a couple of days for the water level to drop down a bit. But that's not the only thing I wanted to dedicate in this video. So, some of you may have had this request on the back of your minds. So, without further ado, I shall reveal. Alrighty. So, we've got ourselves the famous Dandelion, which actually apparently is derived from the French language of Dandelion, which basically meant the teeth of lions. And that is derived from the fact that if you look among the edges here, kind of reminds you of looking at teeth. So that's actually where it gets its name. But it doesn't only represent that. The dandelion is one of the only native plants that actually represents three separate celestial bodies, which include the sun, the moon, and the stars. So the dandelion has quite of a story to tell. You can see at the moment, the dandelion is representing the sun, because you can completely see the flowering of the dandelion itself. Has that yellow, and it reminds you of just looking at the bright sunshine, which is what we're seeing today. Thank goodness. But then, the dandelion will eventually progress throughout its growth. It will practically fold up like a ball or like a fist, and then it'll open back up again. But that time you're actually seeing the little white seedlets. And in that case, that's representing the moon. I wish there was an example. Well, actually, here we are. Here's an example right here. See that? Well, I mean, it's partial, but if it were completely full, that would be representing your moon right there. And then, as the seeds come off, usually driven through wind dispersion, those are representing your stars. So the dandelion always enjoys reaching for the stars. And thus, wherever the seed will land, they will reproduce. And the same exact process comes through again in full circle. I think that's an amazing thing about nature in general is, the life cycle of flora and fauna and just all the natural processes that happen on Earth. It always comes in the full circle and it repeats. It's just amazing to me. I mean, even like our concept of time, it always repeats. Only 24 hours in a day, and then the day just starts over again. But yeah, the dandelion is actually very useful. You can practically use all parts of the plant. So the flower, the stem, the roots, the seeds, you can use all parts of the dandelion. And not only that, but you can actually, I've read something before, that you can actually make jelly using dandelions too. And I think I've only had the honor of trying it once, but it was a long time ago too. I believe it was through the Dark County Parks. And this is like when I was just a little guy. And a cool thing too, this is another memory that I have that my grandma brings up with me all the time is with the Dark County Parks, they were hosting something like historical days, something of the sort. I think it was Prairie Days, and I actually tried cow's tongue, and I actually really liked it. My grandma would tell me, like, if I would, I kept like going back and forth and kept asking if I could have more cow tongue. So the point that I'm trying to make, too, I know it's a slight change of subject, but the point I'm trying to make is whether it be dandelions or even cow's tongue, sometimes you gotta be open to trying new things. And that's one thing too. In my opinion, I think dandelions actually add some beauty to a yard. And the thing is, the more often you mow them, they'll actually be quite spiteful, and they'll grow shorter stalks. And they'll multiply even more. So pretty much it's just let them be. Let them do their thing. I mean, not pointing any fingers at anyone, not trying to offend anyone, but like on your lawns, you really want to try reducing the amount of fertilizer that you're using on your yard. You know, like artificial chemical. This is not good for your lawn, in my opinion. And also, that fertilizer can eventually make its way into our waterways, and thus causing algal blooms. And with algae, in this case, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. But yeah, that's the dandelion. But yeah, I hope that doesn't offend any of you who already use fertilizer for your lawn. But the point is, you just don't want to use so much of it. But yeah. Because eventually, any type of fertilizer you use in the form of runoff will eventually make their way into streams such as here. So, alright mates, forgive me for the length of the video. I just kind of went on a ramble. Hope all you enjoy your Tuesday, and Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks.